Right, so now to go with our picks of the week. We all had Eagles to win in week one. Now let's go for the rest of the games. Green Bay at Atlanta. Jay, who you got?
I'm not ready to give the Green Bay Rundy its dues yet. Falcons.
Okay.
Run wild.
What about you, Paul?
Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Desmond Ridder. Packers go in there and win.
Ooh.
And I've got the Atlanta Falcons to win. I think Kyle Pitts is going to turn up on Sunday, and I still don't trust Jordan Love. Vegas.
You will.
I will. Week 17 when he's 16-0. I'll be like, okay, I'll give it. But we go Vegas against the Bills. Jay, who you got?
All right, I'm going to say my favourite thing I like to say in this situation. Raiders playing in the early window on the East Coast. It's like playing at 10 a.m. for them. Bills have to win. Josh Allen, don't turn it over. Bills.
And you, Paul?
Yeah, it might not be pretty, but the Bills have to win this game, absolutely. And I heard Jimmy's questionable, so I don't think either. But the Bills win.
For me, you look at this Vegas playing on the East Coast in the early game that Jay just mentioned, just makes me think of Jerry Maguire for the Bills. Show me the money. Show me the money. Jay, Paul, show me the money. It's going to be Bills win. It's comfortable. Ravens at the Bengals. Jay?
Yep. So
on that, you said Ravens.
Ravens.
Yep. Paul, you said Bengals. I said Bengals as well. Right. Seattle at Detroit. Who you got, Jay?
Lions.
Okay. Paul?
I think we might be discovering fairly rapidly that the Seahawks might possibly be fraudulent. So I'm going with the Lions.
I'm also going with the Lions in a high-scoring game. So we got next. We've got the Chargers at the Titans. Jay?
Wow. The most unpredictable teams over the last decade, I would say. I've picked this game probably 4 or 5 times over the last how many years they've played, and I'm pretty sure I get this wrong every time. I'm just going to take the Titans.
And what about you, Paul?
I'm not going to deviate too much from pre-season. I was high on the Titans. I'm not going to get away from them. Tannehill played horrible last week. He can't play that badly again, surely. Like, Titans find a way. They win.
I'm going to surprise you both right now. I'm going with the tie.
Great pick.
I'm going Chicago Bears at Tampa Bay.
I personally think that people have forgotten that this Buccaneers defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it as good as it was 3 years ago? No. But it's not trash. There are still some top quality players on this defense.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Paul said enough about Fields from last week. I have to go with the Bucs.
And you, Paul?
Yeah, until I'm proved otherwise, I'm going to fade Justin Fields and the Bears every time they play. Almost, I don't know that. I don't know. There's a team on their schedule that I'd make them favourite against. That's how bad they were last week, and the Bucs D, like Jay said, still has some dudes, and they're going to confuse the hell out of Justin Fields. Bucs win.
Yeah, that's a clean sweep. I've got Bucs winning. I just don't see how Fields is going to put enough points on the board. Kansas at the Jags.
Wow.
What a game.
A game. I considered this for one of our feature games.
Yeah.
I think the Jags are a lot better than the Lions. And yes, Chris Jones is back. Even with Chris Jones, it's an average defense.
Yeah.
Do we know if Kelsey's back?
He's trained all week with limited snaps all week. He's not a participant at all.
So there's a good chance. I'm going with the Jaguars. I think that this is a really good time to play the Chiefs. If this had been week 10, I probably would have gone the other way. But I'm gonna go with the Jags.
Okay. And what about you, Paul?
I'm going to trust that the Chiefs won't go 0-2. I think they still should have won last week, and getting those two players back, if they do play, then Kadarius Toney is not going to have that kind of game again. And I'm look at it in a different way. He got open enough to drop two wide open catches. So the speed and the play calling was designed well enough. He catches the ball. They have a chance to kick the game-winning field goal. And didn't he tipped and then the Lions got a pick six.
Yeah.
So, that's surely not going to happen again. Chiefs go in there and win a tough one on the road.
Okay. So shall I keep Tony in my fantasy pool? What would you do? It's a long team. It's a big league, so
I would.
You're going to keep him?
I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's not completely out of the trust tree yet, is he?
Yeah. He's still on the roster, but he can warm the bench for a couple of weeks. We'll see what he does.
He's got no one else except him and Kelsey, so he's going to get chances.
Him or Duvernay?
Yeah, you need to stay with Tony in this offense.
So my pick, Kansas at the Jags. I don't know if this is me just getting ready for a couple of weeks' time, but I've got to go. Duval! I'm going Jags to win. Sorry for that, guys. Colts at the Texans.
This one's a difficult one for me. I had Colts all week, but after watching the Ravens-Texans film, I felt quite encouraged by the Texans, so somehow I'm picking the Texans this week.
Okay. And what about you, Paul?
I'm going with the Colts. I think they've got a superstar at quarterback. Not yet, but I think they have a quarterback. They have a superstar on their hands, and he can, if he needs to learn to get down when he starts to run. He's a very, very big human, but don't do Josh Allen, Cam Newton things and try and run people over.
Those hits add up.
Yeah, exactly. I've gone with the Colts to win. Similar to what you say, Paul. I was really impressed that he played better than I expected week one, and they played a good team. They weren't a shabby team that they played against, who I think are better than Houston. I just think he's got more pieces around him. That's going to help them get over the line. It's a close game. I think it's a 1.5 point spread at the moment. But I'm going with the Colts. 49ers at the Rams. Jay.
There's a song, Rihanna, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Run This Town. And that is what the 49ers do. They run.
I haven't heard it. Can you sing it for me so I know which one you're talking about?
We gonna run this town tonight. We run LA. And great win for the Rams last week. But we've seen this matchup 10 times now. We are bigger and stronger than the fast Rams. We will run wild down your throat. I hope that their offensive line is ready for what is coming on Sunday. We will be wearing our red jerseys in Levi South, our home opener in LA. This won't be close.
Yeah. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, similar to Jay, like they never used to have an answer when they actually had some dudes. Now they don't have dudes, and they're going up against the Niners, who are just overmatched them every possible way.
Yeah,
like the Rams have a pretty poor O line going against this D line. Like, good luck. Yeah, 49ers win. It's not close.
Not close. 49ers winning. Look at Shanahan against McVay's record. Says it all. So, New York Giants against the Arizona Cardinals. Jay?
Wow. What a game this will be.
Mm. Could you put both of them to lose? Maybe.
You know what? I actually did consider the tie with this one.
You actually could, yeah.
The Cardinals, I don't know if it was good Cardinals or bad Commanders. I'm going to assume it was bad Commanders, why that game was close last week. The Giants, I mean, where do you go from here? That was a total embarrassment.
Yeah.
This is at Cardinals? Yeah, okay.
This is, at Cardinals, yeah.
Okay. On the basis that I think the Cardinals are still trying to lose, I think the Giants will edge this one. They can't play any worse than they did last week. They're not going up against the Cowboys' ferocious front seven, so I think Daboll will be able to scheme at least enough, like he did last year, to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not confident.
Yep. Okay, what about you, Paul?
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on this, but I trust the Giants based on what I saw last year more than I do the Cardinals. Cardinals don't really have an NFL roster, and Josh Dobbs is not an NFL starting quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jay said, I think it was the Commanders finding their way with Sam Howell that made that game close, and they did play. They showed effort. The Cardinals, they still played hard, but yeah, the Giants will find a way to win a pretty poor football game.
Cool. I've got purely based off of their defense, and yeah, I think the Commanders made the Cardinals look a bit better than what they actually are, which didn't look that good either still. I think the 40-0 scoreline was a bit flattering. It wasn't that bad. There was a couple scores, but it was closer for a lot of the game. But yeah, two not so good teams. Giants to win. Jets at Dallas. We've already touched upon. I think we're all going with Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, are we? I just presume that, but yeah, we're all going with Dallas. Then we got the Washington Commanders at Denver.
Wow, this is an interesting week too. Be careful with your money, everyone. Commanders
with the Commanders that Chase is back. Not Chase. Who's
Chase Young?
Yeah, he's back. But he's on
it's an interesting D line, because at one point, I think last off season, they were considering trading Chase Young.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily an indictment on Chase Young. I just think that it speaks to the defensive line that the Commanders have.
Yeah.
Like, they have an elite defensive line.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what to make of the Broncos. Sean Payton's got a lot of work to do.
It does. Yeah, it does.
I think I'm going to go with the. I think I'm going to go with the Commanders, just based on the fact that I don't think the Broncos' offensive line will be able to cope with this defensive line. I don't think this will be a great game.
Yeah.
I think low scorer, Commanders win, ugly game.
Okay. And what about you, Paul?
Yeah, I don't know if that is an upset, but I'm going with the Commanders. I think Sean Payton and Russell Wilson are a long way away from where he wants Russell Wilson to be. If Russell wants to throw the ball deep and move around, and Sean Payton wants him to stay in the pocket and get the ball out quick, and they seem to be opposite from each other, and they're opposite before they've come together, and I think it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
And the Broncos D, by reputation, is apparently quite good, but if you pick on the other corner, so don't even bother trying to throw to Satan, but go to the other corner, like you can have a way. Look at Jacoby Myers last week for the Raiders. Suddenly he was a superstar because Satan took away Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers is suddenly running wild against the Broncos. Yeah, Commanders win.
I'm going with the Broncos, purely because I think the Commanders did an amazing job making the Cardinals look like not a terrible football team. And I think they are a terrible football team. They're going into Mile High. How are they going to cope? The atmosphere, obviously the thinner air, are they going to be able to last 4 quarters? And I just love Sean Payton as a coach. I think he's a great coach. I think they find a way to just scrape the win. Miami, New England. I think we all went with Miami, didn't we? So then we got New Orleans at the Panthers.
Wow, the first of a Monday night doubleheader.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this really simple. I'm not sold on the Panthers. Bryce Young, by all accounts, has all the intangibles. I'm not sold on him as a number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were better quarterbacks in this draft. I think the Saints defense is getting up there in age, but it's still pretty good. And I think they will do enough to overwhelm the Panthers, and the Saints will win this game.
Okay. What about you, Paul?
It's more that I'm fading Derek Carr than I'm picking the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm picking against Derek Carr, and I think that Carolina have some talent, and it will come together. It just might take a while, and this is, I think, quite a good matchup for them. The Saints should have got beaten last week by the Titans. They had a strip sack on Carr, which went for a touchdown, which I don't even know what refs were doing. Like, they blew the play dead. Like, I hate that when you blow the play dead. Like, it's the guy's running into the end zone and the play's dead. Like, that single-handedly won the Saints the game.
Yeah.
Derek Carr can't move. If you get any kind of pass rush, if you confuse him at all, he's good for a mistake. And it might not be yet, but Frank Reich's going to give this young quarterback a chance, and I trust the Panthers more than I do Derek Carr.
I'm going with New Orleans. I'm backing Derek Carr to get the W. With purely because I really like Olave and Michael Thomas. You know, he's got 2 intense weapons. And yeah, I think they've got enough to beat the Panthers. It'll be a close game, one-score game, but I've got New Orleans. And then finally, we have, who have we got? Cleveland at the Steelers. Who have you got, Jay?
I think there's two major injuries for the Steelers. Cam Hayward is not going to play, and Deontay Johnson is not going to play, I don't think. That passing game did not look very good last week.
No.
And if there's going to be one player to unlock it, it's Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Pickens has been getting a lot of headlines in the off-season, but I've yet to see him as a complete receiver. You can throw a go route and he'll make a spectacular catch, but the receiver that you need in this game to separate is Deontay Johnson. The Steelers' offensive line, I mean, a lot of teams are going to get overwhelmed by the 49ers' defensive line, but now they come up against Cleveland's defensive line, where you've got Myles Garrett, and they've now brought a partner for him in Zadarius Smith, who's pretty good as a number 2. That is going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the ball, you've got Chubb, you've got Watson, a fairly solid offensive line with no Cam Hayward. TJ Watt will make his presence felt in this game as he did last week.
Yeah.
But I think there's just too many things stacked against the Steelers this week. I expect a response, but I'm going to take the Browns.
Okay. What about you, Paul?
So if this game, so when I'm going through the schedule before the season, this is a Steelers win. It should be a Steelers win. However, like Jay said, losing Hayward, losing Deontay Johnson, and the way that the Steelers run D looked last week going against, so you've got their start to the season, Pittsburgh starts the season, possibly going against two of the best D lines in football and two of the best running games in football. And the Steelers' weaknesses, glaring weaknesses, would be O-line and run D. Yeah. Before the season, I'd have this as a Steelers win. Tomlin would find a way. I just think they're going to get run on. Chubb's going to run. Watson's going to run. And the pass rush is going to get home against this O-line. So, pains me to say, but the Browns are going to come into Pittsburgh and win this football game.
I was surprisingly caught in this game because inside my head, someone's like, back Tomlin. He'll find a way to get the win, to not start 0-2. But just everything I look at is screaming Cleveland are going to win this game. I've got to go with Cleveland. I just repeat everything that you guys have just said. It's a terrible matchup for the Steelers, especially with Hayward and Johnson out. Yeah, I like Cleveland to win this game. So,
if Deontay Johnson was playing, I think I could have been swayed. I could have been swayed.
Yeah,
because everyone's going to think that this will be, I don't want to say a blowout, but I get the feeling that people will think that the Browns might win this comfortably. I don't think that the Steelers will let that happen.
not 2 weeks.
Not 2 weeks in a row. You know, we've seen it time and time again that the Steelers have a game like this, and if they've been written off this week, I hope the Browns haven't been listening.
Yeah.